Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope you are all well by the grace of Allah. And now we are passing a critical moment. And we have to stay at home and maintain social distance and rules and regulations of health. So, I hope that you are maintaining the social distance to avoid COVID-19. So, without wasting any time, let's begin our today's topic or our today's class. Before entering the class, I would like to introduce myself to you. This is Muhammad Abdul Azim, Assistant Teacher, English, Hoimawala Girls High School, Shirazganj. And this class is furnished for the student of class 9. And the topic that I am going to discuss is comparison of degree. And today we are going to discuss from comparative to superlative. So let's start our today's class. Okay? Now I am going to write down 2 sentences. Please try to find out which form are they. Okay? Shumona is taller than any other girl. Number 2, she was more active than any other girl. Can you guess which forms are they? Yes, you are right. They are represent the form of comparative degree. The form of comparative degree. So, we are going to learn from comparative to superlative. Comparative to superlative. Comparative to superlative. We should bear in mind that a comparative degree generally takes the word than just after it. On the other hand, a superlative degree always takes article the before it. So, if we want to turn from any comparative to superlative, we can follow 3 steps. At first, we will write down the subject and verb. In another way, we can say that we will write down the words before comparative degree. That can be addressed as a first step. So, regarding this first sentence, what will be the first step? At first, we will write down subject plus verb. Okay, here Shumona is, here we can address it first step. Second step, we have already learnt that a superlative degree always takes article the before it. So undoubtedly we have to select the plus superlative form of this saying comparative degree. Okay, here taller, the word taller represents comparative degree, so we have to turn it superlative degree. Here the second step will be the tallest. Here second step. Last step, we will drop than any other and write down rest of the words. We will drop than any other and write down rest of the words after than any other, okay, that can be addressed as a third step. Okay, so what will be the first step, third step? Then any other should be omitted and write down the next word or words. Here we will find girl. This is the last step. Let's repeat it so that we can understand it clearly. So whenever we are going to turn from comparative to superlative regarding than any other, we have to follow three steps. Number one, at first we will write down the subject and verb. Second step, the plus superlative. And lastly, than any other will be dropped and write down after the words or word of than any other. Have you understood what I am going to tell about? Please help me the second one. Okay. What will be the first step? She was. What will be the second step? The most active. And we have already known that then any other will be omitted or dropped. So here we will find girl. Okay, and there will be other words just after common noun such as in the class. So girl in the class. Okay, so let's go to another field. And what is the difference between the previous and present association? Okay, I am going to write down another two sentences and try to differentiate between the two. Okay, English is richer than all other languages. English is richer than all other languages. Can we differentiate between previous and present one? Yes, in the previous steps we found than any other, and here we find than all other. If we find than all other, what should we do? The first two steps should be the same as we did in the previous rules. At first, what will be the first step? At first we will write down the subject and verb and the plus superlative. Okay, here English English is the richest. And regarding than all other, we will drop them. There is no hesitation, but we have to select of all just after superlative degree. So we are going to write down of all for the words than all other, and rest of the words here we find languages. Okay, so let us come to our decision. If we find than all other in place of than any other, we have to write down the words of all just after superlative degree. Okay, so I am going to write down another sentence. Please try to solve it. Okay, Saudi Arabia is hotter than all other countries in the world. Saudi Arabia is hotter than all other countries in the world. Okay, so help me. At first we will write down subject and verb. Here Saudi Arabia is step 1, and second step, the plus superlative degree, the hottest, and then all other will be dropped and we will write down of all just after superlative degree. So we have to select of all, then all other should be omitted. countries in the world. Okay, this is the last step, and try to differentiate it. Bangla is sweeter than most other languages in the world. Have you noticed? At first we found than any other, and secondly we found than all other, and lastly we find than most other. This is the character of the comparative degree. If you find than most other, what will you do? Actually the first step is the same. Okay, at first we will write down subject and verb. Okay, here subject Bangla and verb is first step. Second step is that we will write down one of the in place of the. In the previous two steps we wrote down the plus superlative, but here for the sake of than most other we have to write down one of the plus superlative degree. One of the plus superlative degree. Okay. So here one of the sweetest and then most other will be dropped. Sweetest languages in the world. Okay, I am going to write down another sentence. Please try to solve it. Okay. John Milton was greater than most other poets in the world. John Milton was greater than most other poets in the world. Okay, please help me to solve this problem or to solve from comparative to superlative. Okay, at first we will write down subject and verb. Here subject John Milton, was. Number 2, one of the plus superlative degree. One of the plus superlative degree. Here we will find one of the greatest. Then most other will be dropped. So we will find poets in the world. Two, then most other will be omitted and select the word or words after then most other. Okay, here we find poets in the world after the words of then most other. Okay, I believe that you have understood what I am going to tell about. Now I am going to give you some homework and try to solve it. And if you have any problem, please contact with me. Okay? Write down. The porter was cleverer than all other men in the company. Number 2, Mount Everest is higher than any other peak of the Himalayas. Number 3, Bhutan is smaller than most other countries in the world. Number 4, man is better than any other creation of Allah. Lastly, she sings sweeter than any other girl. She sings sweeter than any other girl. Okay? Try to solve it. Last turn can be more difficult. Okay? Try to solve it. So, inshallah, we'll discuss another topic in the next class. So, goodbye. Allah Hafiz.